So here's a new topic in society in the Netherlands that is new. I know that abroad they went as far as autonomize and replace the tellers for the sort of the technology, the self scan technology, and the self payment machines. In the Netherlands, there are some companies that came back from it, but the big markets now are pushing it like crazy. First thing that struck me was that you have to actually show your receipt, even though it's like a built-in prison system right now in our supermarket, that you have to show your receipt, even though you go to the normal cashier, normal teller. Um, you still have to show the receipt to go outside. That felt like total prison camp to me, and hazard if something if panic broke out. That how could people go outside swiftly? That was the first thing that struck me, actually. But before that, there was an embargo, a confrontation with me and the franchisor that run the business of the supermarket over there. Um, I was at the store, and of course, I will not go to. I would always seek a human in a supermarket. I like it best. I don't like to push tag and take away jobs. So for the sake of job and for the sake of the experience, to speak with a person, and when things go wrong, you have just immediately have the person there to correct it. So I went, of course, and I like to use cash. Another thing, and I think they have these machines now that accept cash, but it's just, to me, it's a principle not to go there. And one should respect that, but we've seen with all the tech they push on us that it's more like intimidation to accept it than accepting that there's people that like the natural way. Everything like the smart meters, even the smoke alarms, the thermostats, everything's being pushed on you, and if you don't, you get spit on almost. It's ridiculous. So I was at the store, and I was like, okay, I knew they had changed it up. I was like, that's okay, as long as there's one left, and I'll just go there. And as soon as I got into the store, I noticed that the normal cashier teller was all the way in the back of the store, uh, placed against the wall, actually, and that was just so symbolic to me that I was thinking, oh God, must I look at it that way? Is it really that way, or am I too negative now? But anyway, I went into the line, and the line was really big. You could clearly see that people were not voluntarily going to these machines to pay for their groceries, and it was a really long line, and people were really, really angry at what was going on there, and so we were already discussing, like, that entire line. We're already openly discussing what was going on in the store, and then there was this girl, this cashier, that was obviously brainwashed, to ask us with force to go to, would we please go to one of the new ways of payment, and we all declined, and we asked her, why do you ask? Because there's a reason why we're standing in the line while there's machines left unhandled, that we're standing in line just to do our groceries the natural and the normal and the old-fashioned way. So why do we even ask? But that was it. We knew that this girl was definitely just propagandized, I guess, again, to ask the question to go and meet up with the machines. And so we declined, and we said no, thank you. And we also gave her the reasons why we declined, like jobs, and well, there's lots more that I will not go into now. But she got angry with us and she said, I'm so sorry that you will not go along with innovation. And I said, but girl, this is about your future jobs. This is not just about innovation. This is just taking away jobs for the future and incomes for people and the flourishing of a town, for instance. You need jobs, and if everything is replaced by tech, then people won't have a decent income. Um, but she got angry with us, and we were smart enough to just leave it there because you don't want to make a scene. This girl is obviously working there, being paid, and hoping to remain there as an employee. So we understood that, and we just kept silent, and we started to just, I don't know, do what we do. And then the CEO stepped up with the same question. He entered the conversation, and first he asked us nicely, "Do you want to pay? Want to stand in the other line and pay by the machines?" And because that line where we stood of dissidents was obviously pretty big and strong in its presence by speaking out, which was a good thing. It's my kind of people. I'm rebellious that way. But not with making a scene, but just being polite and stated what we thought. And the moment we declined, he got more firm and kind of got into defense mode. And this was the one time that I didn't carry my camera to the supermarket, and that's the last time that I'm never ever gonna leave my camera at home. Actually, when these things are evolving, because he started to explain that he couldn't get people to do the job during the day. Like there were no people offering to fulfill the vacancy for the jobs. We have a tremendous amount of people that can fulfill the jobs, but they're not paying well. But still, then there's a lot of students, etc., that could do the job. So that is just a bullshit story happening in his mind. An argument that is not valid. In my opinion. And that was his reason for taking on these machines. And he asked again, and we declined again. And he got angry with us. He started to basically say, and I wish that you would all wake up in the next morning and grow a brain. And so that was from 1 to 10, politeness to insulting. And yeah, I said, well, we once were king as a customer, so where were these times, right? And we're just trying to explain to you that we're choosing for the jobs of the future and to keep cash alive, basically, because cash is freedom. And all the pin machines, etc. These are, and I use pin, but there should be options not to. And so I started to politely discuss again, and there was this man in front of me that, well, had the same arguments, still being polite after he scolded us. But yeah, he went pretty far to scold us and make us the minor in the story while we were just standing up for jobs, basically. And, well, what can you do if you're being called names in the middle of a store? Like, we're the stupid ones. And then, yeah, it was really the first time for me to use that cashier and all the way to place to the wall of the supermarket, like in the back of the supermarket, like lower rank kind of feeling. But that's a feeling, you can say. But then we got this receipt. And I know that with these machines, that you get that receipt to get out of the store. But I was not on those machines. I was at the counter with the manual payment of the groceries, and I got one of those receipts as well. So that was just sinking in. Okay, so I'm not able to leave without showing my receipt to another machine to get out of the store. So that even brought me to more rejection of this whole system, actually. Um, and After that, I've been hearing from people that where they have these machines, people are being pulled out of line quite often. And so they suspect that people that use the the teller, the machine, are shoplifting more than people that stand in line. So where's the logic in there? So people get like they have to open their bags like they're criminals when they use the machines to show that they haven't shoplifted. And this guy before me that was standing before me in line, he said, I'm not using those things because we are being treated like criminals. And he said to the guy, and what does it matter that we have to search your bag? Who cares? And there was an absolute attitude of bullying towards the customer that didn't want to comply with the new developments and to be treated like a criminal because you do your groceries and even want to comply with the machines to pay the groceries for. That is just society gone wrong, right? In my opinion, and I hear that from a lot of people that they are being pulled out of line every time they're there. And some never, others more than a lot, which makes it actually discrimination. But that's not a valid reason not to ditch the machine for this man. And he said, next year this one will be gone too. And he was kind of laughing at us like we had nowhere to go. And he said, the guy in front of me said, well, then we're going to the next supermarket and he will have those too. It's like he was gloating that the pathways of natural payment for groceries was being locked down, something like that. And I was trying to discuss with him, but he shut me out of after he scolded me, he shut me out of the conversation because he remembered me. And I don't know what he meant with that, but it must have been the COVID months that I was not compliant with the mouth cloths and changed the door policy. I'm sure he remembered that because it was very successful. But he was also no longer speaking to me because I got that success. He didn't say it, but it must have been the only thing that he could have remembered me by, which I am thankful that he still did, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. But then today, I'm going to start a new video because my phone is suddenly acting up that you can only film a few minutes and then stop. So keep your attention span here. Thus, back again. Today, went to the grocery store again, and there's an old woman standing behind me because I was still in the line of the old-fashioned people. I'm proud of it, and I was standing in line, and there was an old lady behind me with a walking stick in a little cart to put her groceries in, not a lot. And she was pulled out of line. Do you want to go to, not stay in this lane, but would you want to go to one of those machines? And she was starting to shake the moment that the cashier asked her to, it's being pushy, but let's just remain that it's being asked. She started to shake and was in dis-ease, obviously not at her in her comfort zone. She was dragged actually to the machines, and I will help you with that. But it was obvious that her face said in so many ways, no, I don't want to, but she was kind of being ambushed by going there, and she was shaking. And this cashier that tried to drag her to these machines did grab a bag of Eastern eggs, chocolate Eastern eggs, and said, well, then you're going to get this. I was like, okay, so they're trying to like with syringes, where you could get an iPod if you took the syringes for certain diseases down below. We're now back to Sesame credits that if you use, if you comply, then you'll have Eastern eggs or a bag of cookies or whatnot. Um, to clean their conscience, I guess, because it wouldn't help the woman. And I've seen people panic because that thing didn't work, and completely panic because the cashiers go to the people and say, "You're not doing it right." Not in a patient way, because for some people this might be new and you might get used to the system, but they were angry at those people for no reason at all. Um, and that is a seriously sorry, sorry decision. Hopefully, in hindsight, for the one that was doing that to the person. But this person started to shout back and he said, "Hey, man, I'm doing my groceries here over 30 years. Now I get this as a result for my loyalty." And that didn't even stop the person from screaming to it. So these are, why hold on to that, you know? And I was doing a little bit of research just to round it off, and I went back to the store and told the tellers that what my research was, and it apparently is the case that they started this in England. Sorry for the redness of the screen. They started this in England, and at some stores, and that thing got more and more technical difficulties. I don't know why, and so it costs more than they'd expected, and there's so much technical difficulties that the little staff that they do have has to correct these technical difficulties, which they don't know how to, and end up in stress, etc. And so not a good picture. Not a happy camper in the store if you want to do your groceries there and everyone is stressful and mean to you. And anyway, that thing didn't work, and they had to go back to the natural people that wanted to fulfill the job of teller. And they did some research that actually he says it's because he couldn't find any people, but if you step onto initially to these machines, that it would only be 3% of their costs. So it's way cheaper than people in the beginning. And after a year or something, these machines start to act up, and then it would cost more. So I'm just gloating and waiting for that to happen, and for the normal tellers to return. That would be a healthy situation. And in England, they did a poll with people what they would like, and most people just blatantly said, I want the teller back because I miss the conversation. So it's a social aspect to go to the store and have a conversation with the teller and the people that surround them. And that it's basically what's happening right now is radical individualism. By not wanting a teller and to go to the store, grab whatever you need and put that bank card in there and leave. But it only goes so far because it has shown that people long back for the natural conversations between people. The daily talk, the daily gossip, and so I guess what goes down must go back up again, and we'll just have to wait and see how long it'll take this supermarket to come back to the natural and healthy way of doing groceries, which is surrounded by people. And he was also angry about the many emails that he got from angry people. And he still didn't get it, that maybe it would not be such a good idea to continue then. But I guess there's a financial incentive um, to coincide with the tech world, that he got an incentive, financial injection to go there, I guess. Not sure, but time will tell. Anyway, that was my short story. I just needed to share. Um, and it was good news for me that the supermarkets in England, um, yeah, got back to normal. So good news. Yeah, humanity prevails. And that's the way we like it.